Howdy! Long time no see, huh? But it's October, which means it's time for Halloween. It always is time for Halloween, but now it's more. Welcome to my new setup. The new setup is like the old setup, but it's got this red stuff in the background because today we're going to be talking about It Chapter 2. I know, why not It Chapter 1? Because I just watched It Chapter 2 and I wanted to talk about that one first. It Chapter 1, 2017. One of my favorite movies of all time, I would say. It very much so. It's great. But It 2019, It Chapter 2, is not so great. It's incredibly long. It's kind of boring. The structure of the scares is very formulaic. I don't think that that's a bad thing necessarily. I think that it is scary. I think that the structure of a character enters the room. The room is normal. The room gets a little weird. The room is a little suspicious. There's a fake out item or person that you think might be scary but isn't. The fake out person becomes scary. And then there's another scary thing behind that person that's scarier. And then the camera makes you look at it for a little while. The character gets scared and the scene ends. And then they do that like 20 times for each character, like one after the other. And, you know, I get scared every time. Hey-o. Okay, here's some other cons about the movie. Because we dealt with child actors in the first movie, and they made the sequel a little bit later, and of course, kids grow up, they did this like really creepy de-aging CGI, and that really took me out of it the first time I watched it in theaters because it was like so big you couldn't ignore it. Just recently when I watched it, my screen is small enough that it was not obnoxious, but it is very noticeable, especially on Finn Wolfhard, because I know what his face looks like. It was more aggressive also in 2019 because Stranger Things was so big and so relevant, so I'm like, I know what Finn Wolfhard looks like, and this is not what he looks like, and it was very like jarring and distracting. Further, the kids were the star in the first one. They knew what they were doing. They were like, these kids are great, they're super charismatic, they're super fun, we love their dynamics. And then in the second one, it's adults, and they don't allow you to love them. They're boring adults. They're grumpy. They're like, and here's the thing. I don't fault adults for being boring and grumpy. Lots of adults are boring and grumpy. But the thing is, we're watching the movie for the friendship dynamic. We're watching the movie because these are charismatic, interesting characters, not boring, grumpy characters. And then for some reason, in It Chapter 2, they're just like, nah, all of these little kids lost all their pizzazz, they lost all their wit, they lost all their friendship, they lost all their banter. Here you go. Boring, depressed adults. And I'm like, well, wait. I don't want to watch boring, depressed adults. I believe it could be an interesting exploration of childhood trauma, like a metaphorical childhood trauma. Like when you were a kid, you were terrorized by this big monster. And then you tried to live your life to forget about all of that, but something is calling you back to town and you have to face it. Like you have to face your past and move past it. And that's really compelling. And they were trying to do that, but they didn't really do it that effectively. I think they could have done. We are introduced to the adults. They have their lives together. Like together. Like, I'm a big fancy writer. I am the wife of a very fancy rich man. I am a blah blah blah. And then you could sprinkle in hints of like, but it's not all great. I drink a lot, or my husband's not the best. Like you could sprinkle that, like hint at it, but at first, loudly tell me that these adults have it all together. That they, on the surface, have it all together. They're good. I don't even remember my childhood. That's how great I'm doing. I'm doing fantastic. What are you talking about? And then when they get the phone call that the clown is back in town and they have to go back to their hometown and deal with it, then We should see them drop their facade. We should see them drop it. We should see them go back, revert back to how they were as a kid when it happened. Let's see that shift. Let's see adult. I'm professional. Ha ha ha. Everything is great. My life is great. I'm so successful. Blah, blah, blah. I'm so great. To, oh shoot. Oh yeah. I freaking forgot about that clown. That sucks. No, I don't want to deal with that. We need a contrast. We can't just have adults. Their lives completely suck in all aspects. Completely. I mean, like, they showed, like, he has a job. He has a car. He worked out and he looks nice now. He blah, blah, blah. He's an accomplished whatever. But they act like they're not good. They don't act good at all. Like, they act like everybody hates my new movie. Everybody hates my blah, blah, blah. My husband sucks. You know, and it's like, hey, where are we? I don't want to see my character suffer. Not yet. This is the first act. And then we need to see them be triggered back to their former selves, their childhood self. And when the kids all reunite as adults and start interacting again, I want to see the banter more. And in It Chapter 2, instead of being like, messing with each other, like, ha ha ha, poking fun more. It's more just like jovial co-workers.
I propose a toast to the losers.
All right.
They're not jovial co-workers. No, no, no. These are people that bonded over an extremely terrible situation as a child. Like, they would be talking about how great their life is now. They'd be talking about blah, blah, blah. They would be making little jokes. They would be being immature, making little jokes. But instead of that, they're just like, nah, we're just going to make Eddie like mad all the time. And we're just going to make Richie be like a literal comedian. And we're going to make like not a very, like, he's supposed to be like not a super, super successful comedian or like a super, super great comedian, but like, he's a little too just a comedian.
No, I got married.
Richie, I don't believe it.
When? Did you not hear this?
No.
Oh, you know I got married?
No.
Yeah, no, me and your mom are very, very happy right now.
You know, like when you hang out with somebody from your past, that part of your brain lights up and you start acting funny. Like you start acting like unrecognizable to yourself a little bit because you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I completely forgot about blah, 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 blah. And instead of doing it like that, where it's like coloring in a coloring book again, they more just had them forget like amnesia. Like they all had scars on their hands because they were like, we are making a pact. If this clown comes back, we will come back. Blood oath. And then for some reason, they literally forgot what that scar was from. Like literally. Like they were just like, oh yeah, there's a scar on my hand. Who knew? What? Or maybe it like reappeared or something. I guess either way, they like literally forgot. Like it wasn't like it was living in their brain and they like remembered. It was like blink, bonk. Like it was like a magical amnesia instead of like a literal like I grew up and I haven't thought about that in years. I haven't heard that name in years. Pennywise, what? Oh no, you know. So it just wasn't really like good for displaying something like childhood trauma. And secondly, no hate to James McAvoy, but he's not very good at stuttering in the same way that the other actor was. They don't stutter in the same way.
All of the kids in this town you could have taken, why, Georgie?
Shake my hand!
And Bev, as an adult, lost all of her charm. She is just like a woman. Like a woman. Like, but Bev is not just a woman in the first movie. Bev is bold and independent and straightforward and witty and making little jokes.
You sure they got the right stuff to fix you up?
And even like to her bullies is like sarcastic and witty. Like she fights back. And the new Bev doesn't. Like the thing is, like, there is a difference between losing your sparkle and being a different person, right? Because it's like they're showing like, oh, and then Bev married someone like her dad, so she is still being like, you know, she's repeating cycles from her past, you know, like she's still in a bad situation with an abusive man, you know, and I don't, like, that's not, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't have put that in the plot, like, that's fine to put in the, as her character progresses, that's fine, but to be like, and now she has no personality.
You built that for us.
Yeah, the hatch has got to be around here someplace.
You know, if you're depressed, you're like muted, you're like down. But you're still, if you're a person that cracks little jokes, if you're a person that fights back in bad situations, if you're a person that like tussles, you're not gonna like completely lose that. You might like back down faster, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna be like, exactly. You know what I mean? That's the thing, is it's like, okay, this is just a different character. And they changed Eddie too. So Eddie is now just like this like grumpy guy. He's just yelling all the time. But Eddie's not a grumpy bum guy. Eddie is he's really aware of everything. He's just like, this needs to be correct. I know like this could get you a disease. I'm not going near that, blah, 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 blah. And then when people try to, you know, tease him, he pushes way back. Like he gets aggressive. He gets up to it.
I need to focus right now.
You need to focus?
Yeah, can you go get me something?
Jesus. Oh, what do you
Go
need?
get my bifocals. I hit him in my second fanny pack.
He's not just like stomping around aggressive all the time. He's like sweet and caring.
None of your business.
There's a kid outside. Looked like someone killed him.
And then gets annoyed because he's overwhelmed because he's like, oh my gosh. But not like, meh. Grumpy.
Oh, that's so not funny.
It is funny.
He's like,
What the?
Why pull all the charm from him? Why? And then the movie's like 3 hours long. So yeah. That's what I think about It Chapter 2. I do think it's scary. I do think it's fun. I like the scares. The scares are so fun. I love like the little like fun little doodads and creatures that they add are so fun. Like they go to a Chinese restaurant and there's like a Pennywise scare in the Chinese restaurant and all the fortune cookies like bubble and explode into these creepy little guys, like this like little baby like crawly little crawdad baby squishy thing.
Pesky bee.
And then like an eyeball and like a bat wing and stuff. And it's great. I love the little creepy little creatures. And then we also have this really fun little thingy where old Bill, James McAvoy, is trying to save Georgie from the storm drain. And he reaches his hand into the storm drain, and then all these little tiny hands grab onto his arm, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so cute. I love these so cute little hands. And I know it's supposed to be scary, but I love, it's like got like this like little charm of like, it's like squishy and cute. What does that say about me? I don't know, but I love it. I love the little hands.
we are helping. We're helping hands.
And then there was another there's a part where Pennywise is transforming into his big like claw monster thingy. And there's another thing with hands. He like gains a bunch of hands like in like a ring. And then it transforms into the claw. I love that. That's so fun. I love the little hands. And there's a lot of them in this movie. Oh, some of the scares, you know, of course, are like the past self. So like young Stanley is like one of the scares in the scary house, the well house. And he transforms into the little like head alien from The Thing from the 80s. And he gets these little like bug legs coming out. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. Like they're so, I don't know, it's just like so like lively. It's so fun. And then of course, you know, like Pennywise, he opens his big mouth with his teeth, like his like rings of teeth, like a shark or probably a lamprey or something. And they like make it like pulse. Like it's awesome. Like that attention to detail. Like that's what like mouths do when you're at the dentist. I love that. That addition just makes it so fun. I love the liveliness of it. It's so cool. So it's not all bad. It's a good movie, but like watching it in comparison to the It 2017. You know, just in comparison, you know. But if you're just watching it, if you want something scary, if you want something fun that you can like make little jokes to, and you can watch like sports, and you like weird little like hand things, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's super long. If you want to just like sit and watch a horror movie forever, yeah. There you go. Happy spooky season. I hope you liked this. I've been Minty and you've been you. And happy Halloween. All right, bye.
What happens when you put your hand on the other pillar, Professor?
Okay, you see, this is exactly why there are safety codes, why we have permits. This place is a death trap, but if they're not...
It's a work in progress.